Greetings. I am Councilmember Johnson, and we will call the meeting for the Finance Administration Committee for February 3rd, 2026 to order. And we will begin with the roll call. I myself am here. I see that we have Mayor Mayhew online. We also have City Attorney Burke, and we have Finance Director Boutte here, and I'm not sure if City Administrator is coming back. I think his step is here, but
he should be coming back.
Okay, he should be back. Councilmember Washington, are you online?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Excuse me. Yes.
Thank you.
Councilmember Holloway indicated that he would not be able to be present tonight. So with that, am I looking at the right thing? I was not looking at the right thing. There, now I am looking at the right thing. Okay. That takes us to the agenda. I have no changes for tonight's agenda myself. Councilmember Washington, anything that you would like to revise about tonight's agenda?
No, everything looks good. Ready to move forward.
All right, then without objection, we will consider the agenda approved, which takes us to public comments. And if anyone in the audience would like to come up and give public comment, they are welcome to. But I'm not seeing anyone coming forward. So we'll go ahead and move on toward the minutes. And this is the minutes for the meeting dated January 21st, 2026. And just pulling them up here myself again. Yeah, I do not believe that I have any changes myself. Councilmember Washington, anything you would like to amend about the minutes?
No questions or comments for me on that, Chair.
All right, then we will consider the minutes approved as presented without objection. Okay, then that takes us to the warrants and claims report, which is dated February 9th, 2026. And this one is something that we typically move toward the council for adoption. I have not received any questions that I'm aware of from council regarding this so far. I didn't have any questions myself. Councilmember Washington, did you have any questions or concerns about the claims report?
I have no questions or comments on it, and I have not received anything from other council members either.
All right. Anything from administration that they want to point out about this? Any anomalies of any kind? Okay, sometimes it happens. All right, then I'll go ahead and suggest that we move this on to the full council under the consent agenda. Any disagreement there? All right, hearing none, we'll consider that to be on the consent agenda for our next council meeting. That takes us to agenda bills. We have AB 25-106, which is an ordinance amending and repealing Snoqualmie Municipal Code to align with financial management policy. And I believe that the mayor that the mayor may have had something to say about this item tonight.
You guys can hear me okay, Chair?
Yes.
Fantastic. So this is a follow-up item. You'll notice the agenda bill numbers from last year. This is a follow-up item from action that the council had taken in towards the end of last year, in which the council approved some changes to the financial management policy. There was discussion of a number of changes that were advanced by administration. Some of those were approved by council and some were not. And council asked that the appropriate ordinance to amend the municipal code to match that be brought forward. So that is what this is. This is following through on your request that the municipal code changes be brought to you. There's two things to sort of bring to your attention. The first is that we do actually have discovered that there are some errors in what we've sent you. So we need to revise what we've sent you before asking you to look at it and take action on it. So that's the first thing. But the second thing is that in reviewing it, some of what is in this amendment are things that, as the current mayor, I would not ask you to do, or to put it differently, I would ask you not to do. So what I'm trying to do here is obviously respect that you took an action and that you asked staff to bring you a ordinance amendment, and so we've done that. You're therefore in a position to move forward if you choose. So trying to respect and comply with your request. But I would ask if you're willing that you refer this back um, to the administration and let us come back to you very soon with a revised version that removes, number one, removes some of the clerical errors that are in there, or removes the clerical errors that are in there. And then number two, has some requested changes that we bring forward then as well for your consideration.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Anything else, City Administrator? Oh, yeah, I was going to come to council next. Anything else, Mayor, that you wanted to add to that?
No, so that is what this item is, and that's my request in that regard.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Washington.
Thank you, Chair. So, Mr. Mayor, I just want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. So, you're going to make some modifications to the document. It'll come back to FNA, and then FNA will have a chance to look at it. Then it will go to the council. Is that correct?
Chair, sorry.
Oh, yes, Mayor.
Yes, absolutely, Councilmember Washington. That's exactly the plan. And just to be clear, we will redline and highlight anything that is in what we bring to you that is any different than what you have previously seen at the end of last year as a committee, and then obviously that would flow through to the council. But we won't leave you hunting and pecking.
Excellent. Excellent idea, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
So then we do have the red line that exists, excuse me, that would be what would be changed. Is there like a red line to a red line, or like how does that work? Because I do actually want to see both versions.
Yeah, we'll be able to bring you both of those. We can do a
Thanks.
red line to a red line. Believe it or not, those sneaky guys over at Microsoft have figured out how to enable that. So we will absolutely be able to do that for you.
Excellent. Yeah.
I will say it's a little tricky on a document like this where there's a table. Tables get a little bit harder, but we will absolutely make sure that you can see both of those.
Yeah, I'm looking through this. I must be misunderstanding some of how this is done in the red line, because I do have significant questions for how this is indicated that I don't think was the way that I'm reading it. I don't think was the intent. But since administration is going to take a look at it anyway, I'll let those concerns sit for a little bit, and we'll bring it back with or talk about it when the administration brings back their recommended version.
If I could, Chair Johnson, I had a similar reaction, and it is always difficult on these tables. And so we understand the challenge you had, and so we'll work to make it absolutely as decipherable as easily as possible. So we're with you on that.
Okay, perfect. Any other comments on this, Councilmember Washington?
Nothing for me. No, it's been explained perfectly, so I'm good with it. Thank you.
Excellent. Then, since we're going to send this back to the administration, then rather than forwarding this on to council, then when we get to the review of the council agenda, we can probably remove this from there, unless administration wanted to give a short update to the full council on it. But I don't personally see a need for that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead,
Please.
Councilmember Washington.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement with you that I think Mr. Mayor and staff are going to go back and take a look at it and red line on the red line. Yeah, I agree that it probably should be removed from the agenda.
Okay, great. Then we'll get to that when we get to the agenda approval or review. Okay, that takes us to the next thing, which says agenda bills again. Oh, notice that. I wonder if that was supposed to be presentations
It should be discussion.
or discussion.
Yeah, I don't know why it says, and sometimes it's saying agenda bills for some.
Okay. I'm not sure that we need to amend the agenda as it is here, but yeah, let's take a look next time. Yeah, interesting. Okay, the next thing is an Open Public Meetings Act review. This is going to be from City Attorney Burke. Did you want to give us the full presentation tonight, or give us kind of a high-level overview and then a full presentation at council? What was your preferred method?
I will defer to you, Mayor Pro Tem Johnson, on that. This is a presentation that I plan on giving to the full councils on the Open Public Meetings Act and kind of the, the how to keep the city safe and out of trouble. So if you'd like the high level overview tonight, and then I can bring the full thing to council on Monday, I'll defer to your choice.
Okay, and I'll also check with Councilmember Washington. I think that if we could do like a 5-minute overview, because it looks like that's quite a stack of slides, that it's intended to be more than 5 minutes, but
I had that same response.
yeah, but it's important stuff. Councilman Washington, does that sound agreeable to you, that we get a high level overview here and then the full thing at council?
I'm absolutely agreeable to a high level overview.
Okay,
All right.
all right, then City Attorney.
Okay, I will do the fast cliff notes, the Dina's notes on the Open Public Meetings Act. So, good evening, Mayor Mayhew, Chair Johnson, Councilmember Washington, City Administrator and staff. So, and would you like me to share the slides and go quickly through them, or is
I
it
think
okay?
that would be best.
Okay, let me
Yeah.
do that. So just a minute, let me do the technology thing of sharing the
Thanks.
slides. All right, so tonight we're going to discuss the Open Public Meetings Act. This is a law that was passed in 1971, and basically the point is to have, and I'm going to talk really fast because this is the
Yeah.
Cliff Notes version. So
Right.
have public meeting gavel to gavel. And the intent of this law is to be transparent, keep the public informed. Basically, that knowledge is power. So if people know stuff, they can be informed and they can be a part of the government process. The idea is that actions should be open and deliberations should be open. And this is sometimes referred to as a sunshine law. And as one Supreme Court justice once said, sunshine is the best disinfectant, and transparency builds confidence in public, in government. The OPMA applies to specifically city council as a body, and it also applies to specifically also the planning commission in municipal government. A meeting means, I love this, a meeting means a meeting at which the public agency takes action. And then later in the act, a meeting is defined as a governing body. A meeting of a governing body occurs when a majority of its members, which is also referred to as a quorum, gathers with the collective intent of transacting governing body's business. An action could include anything from is the transaction of official business, and it can also include deliberations, discussions, and considerations. Physical presence is not required. It can occur over phone or email. And as technology expands, case law isn't there yet, but I anticipate that will includes Facebook, social media, et cetera. And that also includes text messages. There's also a thing called a serial meeting. That means it doesn't have to collectively be the quorum in one single meeting. If there's kind of the onesie twosies going on and people know how the other members are kind of what they're stating and as part of the deliberations. There's a case involving Egan versus City of Seattle. This case involved over 24 communications amongst council members and staff over a 3-day period. That included in-person meetings, emails, phone calls, text messages, and distribution of a draft press release. And also a council member's aide kept a vote tally sheet, keeping track of how different council members were going to be voting. The court said that the communications could constitute a meeting if at least 5 council members. That's because City of Seattle has a 9-member council, so a quorum there is 5. And if the members knew what the other participants were discussing about, this was about a tax repeal. Unfortunately, the court, or fortunately, I guess, the court didn't actually get to the issue and ended up remanding for more fact finding But the court did hold that a prior agreement on how to vote is action under the OPMA. And final action is a collective positive or negative decision or an actual vote by a majority of the governing body. And that has to be taken in public, even if deliberations were in a closed session. So there can be situations where it's proper to be in an executive session or closed session. The actual voting has to take place in public. Travel and gathering, a majority of the members of governing body or quorum may travel together, such as for purpose of going to a meeting, but they should not discuss or consider official business during that. And I would encourage people to consider just the optics and, keeping that public trust sacred. There are certain situations where legally council can go into an closed or executive session. That's specifically limited to what's set out in the Open Public Meetings Act. The executive session time has to be stated on the record and the time that the executive session will end. And so if you've ever had the privilege of going or waiting outside of an executive session meeting, you know that we yell into the ether like 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, and that is required by law. It has to be noted in the meeting minutes, and that is reviewed by the state auditor. No final action can be taken during a closed or executive session. There's no voting, and the discussions have to remain confidential. Examples, and there are more than this in the state law, but these are the most common reasons agencies such as a city goes into executive session: enforcement actions, litigation, potential litigation, selection of site or acquisition of real estate for lease or purchase, minimum price at which real estate will be offered for sale or lease, or collective bargaining, such as contract negotiations, grievance, planning or adopting a strategy of the course of collective bargaining. And then I also wanted to mention that violations of the Open Public Meetings Act is not covered by WCIA insurance. Can carry a personal liability per person who violates it for $500 on the first violation, and a person who has a successful suit against a city for an OPMA violation can also recover attorney's fees. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, City Attorney. I don't think they have any questions for the moment, and I'll kind of save those for the rest of the good of the rest of the council, or ill, as it were. Councilmember Washington, do you have any questions at the moment?
No, not at this time. I do look forward to hearing the entire presentation, City Attorney.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for the high level overview. And I look forward to digging into some of those details a little bit further. Okay, then I guess that isn't really something that we're going to be taking action on, so it's not really a consent agenda versus not. It's just going to be a discussion item, I believe, under F and A. Yeah. Or presentation, as it were. Okay. That takes us then to the next thing, which is the review draft city council agenda dated February 9th. That will be next Monday. And I think I opened it twice. Yes, I did. Okay. First thing is going to be the call to order and the roll call as per usual, followed by a pledge of allegiance and agenda approval. Under the public hearings and, just make sure I'm looking at the same thing you got there. Yes. Under public hearings, presentations, proclamations, and appointments, we have proclamation 26-01, which is Twin Peaks Day. And I think we're going to make that 26-02 as Twin Peaks Day. Okay. Then we will have public comments and requests for items not on the agenda, followed by the consent agenda, which currently has the city council minutes from January 21st and also the claims report for February 9th. Feel free to stop me at any time, Councilmember Washington, if you have anything to add.
Absolutely.
All right, next thing is an ordinance that will be removing from the agenda. which is something that the administration is going to take back. That's AB 25-106. Then we have the committee reports, beginning with public safety, where there is a discussion item on crisis intervention training for officers, and also a fourth quarter accreditation report, which is informational only. But my understanding is that these items are being requested to be removed from the agenda, and that they will come up again at some point later.
Mayor Mayhew.
Oh, yes, Mayor Mayhew.
Yeah, just for this committee's information, the Public Safety Committee's meeting had a number of items on it. They spent a lot of time on another item, a discussion item, but because of that, these two items they never got to in Public Safety Committee, so therefore, obviously, that they didn't send it forward to the full council. But you're absolutely correct. These will be on a future presentation there, and likely be coming forward from that committee at a future date.
All right, excellent, thank you. The next thing is Community Development Committee, which does not have any items currently for the agenda. Councilmember Washington, since you're the chair, did you have anything in particular that you wanted to have on there?
Well, I'm just curious. I see two items for discussion, the Business Park Pump Station update and capital improvements program. I'm not sure where that came from because it wasn't part of our last meeting.
Yeah, that's that someone ended up deleting a
Okay.
space.
Okay. All
Mark's
right.
vote.
We're all on the same page now.
Yeah. Okay, next items then are from Parks and Public Works Committee. That's the Business Park Pump Station update and the capital improvements plan. I believe that those are still moving forward, and if that committee ends up wanting to change that, they can do that at the council meeting unless we have, yes, Mayor.
Yeah, that was just a drafting thing. Those were two things that were discussion items at the committee level. They were never intended to go forward to the full council. Those were just there's new folks on that committee, and they'd asked for just some background, fill us in on a bunch of things, and so those were just informational for that committee only. The information is not new. It's just kind of a representation of information the full council's already seen.
Okay, then
So,
it sounds
yeah.
like
So there's no intention to bring that forward to the full council.
okay. And then if they decide they do want to do it, then they could move to amend the agenda when we get there to bring them back. Okay. Then the next thing is Finance and Administration Committee, which has one item, which is the discussion around the Open Public Meetings Act. Although I believe that the intent is to make this more of a presentation rather than a discussion. By having it as a presentation doesn't mean that we can't ask questions and stuff like that. But the intent is for it to predominantly be a presentation rather than predominantly to be sort of a roundtable type discussion amongst council members.
The mayor has his hand up.
Yes, Mayor.
Yeah, just I know we're getting into some semantic and wording things. Just the way the council agenda lays out under the rules and procedures of that the council set, presentations go at a different place. So I think that's kind of why we were calling it, a discussion item, is just so that we didn't get confused and think, oh, wait, this has to go up in a presentation section.
Okay, I would agree with that, especially since our intent isn't that council isn't supposed to be sharing their thoughts and their questions, to still leave it as a discussion, since we probably will have at least some amount of discussion around clarifying questions and things like that. So I'm amenable to leaving that as being labeled as a discussion item. Councilmember Washington, any thoughts on that?
Nope. I think it's a wonderful idea.
Okay. And then under Committee of the Whole, we do not have any specific items currently planned. Then we have reports, the mayor's report and commission and committee liaison reports as appropriate, followed by adjournment. Any other thoughts from the administration on the agenda as it stands? Yes, Mayor Mayhew.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out, so therefore we're left with a very light council meeting. Now, during the year, you have some very heavy and long council meetings. So, I know there's no need to look for anything more. And I'm not suggesting you do. Take the win, right?
Yeah.
But I did just want to make sure that you're aware, that this committee's aware that each of these committees during this cycle has started into discussion topics. A lot of them with a lot of meat around them, but it's just early discussions, things like backgrounds, what do we want to tackle, in essence, sort of listing out what they want to tackle for the year and starting to give guidance to administration on kind of what information they'd like us to provide and so forth. So there was a lot of work at the committees. I don't think any of those committees are sort of ready to send anything through. So I think taking a light meeting, just take the win is fine. But I did want this committee to know that they are all having discussions. They're just not at a point where they have things to report out.
Is that
Councilmember
Councilman Washington? Yes. Councilmember Washington?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll just kind of tag on to what the mayor explained. And I think maybe even from the CD committee perspective, maybe that can just be kind of outlined, where we're starting to have discussion and just generally, just very generically, some things that we're starting to tackle, just as an update, even that there are some things coming, but hey, here are some things we have to kind of go back and look at, talk to administration about, but here are some affordable housing we're starting to tackle. We're going to, potentially see some presentations. I think it'd be good to just kind of verbalize that as an update. So maybe that's something I can do when we get to the community development piece of it. And again, no need to have something official on the agenda. It's just something that I can speak to.
Yeah, I see your hand, Mayor. I just wanted to comment on that. What our past practice has been since I've been on council is that when we come to the committee, if the chair wants to share some piece of information like that, it's usually pretty brief. We don't necessarily have it as a particular item. But Mayor, do you have thoughts on that?
I was going to say exactly what the two of you council members have just said, which is that because that's kind of where they're at, it wouldn't be an agenda item, but when I go to each of the committees, I do ask, is there any report? And it might be that each chair wants to just mention briefly sort of the things that they're digging into. And if you would like to go that path, or well, I suppose each chair would decide for themselves, but if you would like, we could reach out to each chair and just let them know that if they wish to do so, that obviously, as always, that's fine for them to do, but maybe let them therefore think about whether they might want to make a few brief comments.
Yeah, since I would be one and there'd be three others, we just talked about the Open Public Meetings Act. Probably be best if the administration did that, since that would be four.
Happy to do that. So it sounds like that's sort of the sense of this committee. So we'll do that.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so that is the agenda for our next city council meeting. And that is also, well, let's just finalize that just to make sure. Were there any other additions or changes from the administration or Councilmember Washington?
Nothing from my side.
Okay. Then hearing none, we will go ahead and adopt that as our agenda. And that is the end of our agenda for tonight. There being no further business, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.